السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. أما بعد. As we gather on this blessed day of Eid, a day of celebration, a day of gratitude to Allah. Allah, He said in the Quran, وَلِتُكْمِلُوا الْعِدَّةَ وَلِتُكَبِّرُوا اللَّهَ عَلَى مَا هَدَاكُمْ وَلَعَلَّكُمْ تَشْكُرُونَ, that you may complete the period of Ramadan, so that you may declare the greatness of Allah for that which He guided you to in this month, for the ibadah that He enabled you to do on this month, for the relief of your difficulties, from your difficulties that He granted you in this month. For everything that He gave you in this month, you realize the favors of Allah on this day, and you thank Him for it. وَلَعَلَّكُمْ تَشْكُرُونَ, so that you may be of those who are grateful. Think on it. وَلَعَلَّكُمْ تَشْكُرُونَ, so that you may thank Allah. Allah, He mentions, and this is something we have to remember on this day of Eid, whilst we are gathering over here in a joyous celebration. There are places in the world today where they cannot have a celebration. Whilst we are standing over here, they are getting bombed and killed. Whilst we are standing over here, they are being oppressed. Our brothers and sisters in Gaza, in Sudan, in Yemen, in Syria, Asham, Ethiopia, Eritrea, so many places, they don't have the luxury that you have. They don't have the luxury that I have. And on this day, whilst we gather, the biggest gathering of the entire year that we'll see, it is so important that you take these words seriously. Because it is about time we want to see this end. And these situations, these problems, these calamities that is befalling the ummah, it is not going to be fixed through the system of the kuffar. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he made it very clear in the sunnah, authentic narrations. He said that soon the people will gather around you and they'll pick you off like how they pick off meat from a bone. The Sahaba asked, are we going to be so few in number at that time? Through which Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, no, you will be many, but you will be like the scum of the ocean. Look at us today, 2 billion Muslims cannot do anything. 2 billion Muslims cannot do anything, just like the scum of the ocean. And then he explained why that will happen. Allah will remove the awe in the hearts of the disbelievers that they used to have for the Muslims, because of something in the heart called al-wahn. Because there's going to be a disease in the hearts of the Muslims today called al-wahn. What is al-wahn? They asked. He said, it is hubbu dunya wa karahiyatil maut. Love for this life and hatred for death. So much of love for this life that when it comes to the Sharia of Allah, they put it last. And everything of this dunya, they put it first. Their salah, it takes a back seat. As long as you can make your money. When you're at work, you don't even think about your salah. When you're at work, you don't even think about the laws of Allah, the halal and the haram. You have those who assume authority over you today, who make the halal haram for you, and who make the haram halal for you. They say as long as you work, it is okay, you will be fine. They use a very special ayah in the Quran. وَابْتَغِ فِي مَا آتَاكَ اللَّهُ الدَّارَ الْآخِرَةَ وَلَا تَنْسَ نَصِيبَكَ مِنَ الدُّنْيَا وَأَحْسِنْ كَمَا أَحْسَنَ اللَّهُ عَلَيْكَ كَمَا أَحْسَنَ اللَّهُ إِلَيْكَ. That seek the akhirah with what Allah has given you in this dunya. Jazakallah khair. And do not forget your portion of this dunya. So using this ayah, they say it's okay for you to neglect the deen of Allah. The sharia takes a back seat as long as you can get your portion of this dunya. We travel to the next hadith. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he said, and Allah said regarding him, مَا يَنْطِقُ عَنِ الْهَوَىٰ إِنْ هُوَ إِلَّا وَحْيٌ يُوحَىٰ. That the Prophet of Allah does not speak from his desire. He speaks from wahi. He speaks from revelation. He speaks from the hikmah and the knowledge that Allah gave to him. He said a time will come upon this ummah. And hearken to these words, because it affects you today. A time will come upon this ummah, like how you see today, where they will commit what's called ina, futures transactions, riba, and they will become happy with grabbing the tails of cattle. وَرَضِيتْ, and they will be pleased and happy with zar'an, with crops and farming, which means that they will be happy with seeking their rizq, and their life will become all about making money, and their lives will become all about entertainment. He said there will be people in this ummah, your so-called authorities who are not your real leaders. They will make zina halal for you. They will make khamr halal for you. He said when this happens, Allah himself, Rabbul Izzah, will put disgrace on this ummah. And he will not remove your humiliation until you return to the deen of Allah, until you give victory to the laws of Allah. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu in tansurullah yansurkum. What is it with us today? Simple words we don't understand. La yakaduna yafqahuna qawla in tansurullah yansurkum. You give victory to the laws of Allah, to the deen of Allah, then Allah will give you victory. Allah will remove your humiliation. You won't find Islamophobia anymore. You won't be second-class citizens in your own country anymore. You won't be picked upon anymore. Allah will support you. Allah will give you victory. وَيُثَبِّتْ أَقْدَامَكُمْ, and He will make your feet firm. If only you can give Allah's Sharia victory. But for as long as you adopt the mentality that I have my democratic modernist lifestyle and the deen of Allah takes a back seat, for as long as you think like this, don't expect the bombs to drop. Don't expect Gaza to be free. Don't expect Aqsa to be free. don't expect the situation of this ummah to improve. Because Allah, He says in Surah Ra'd, إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُغَيِّرُ مَا بِقَوْمٍ حَتَّى يُغَيِّرُوا مَا بِأَنفُسِهِمْ. Allah will not change your situation until you change yourselves, until we change ourselves. Learn to put the deen of Allah first, my brothers. Your Lord is Ar-Rahman. Your Lord is Al-Wadud, the entirely merciful, the all-loving, Al-Azizul Ghaffar, the all-honored, almighty, all-forgiving, Al-Kareem, the most generous, Al-Wahhab, the one who gives you all of your bounties, Al-Mannan, the Lord of majesty, might and bounty, Dhul Jalali wal Ikram. That's your Lord, the one you are dealing with. If you obey Him, He will give you everything. If you learn to put your salah first, then He will rectify your lives. For indeed, قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم, you protect your relationship with Allah, and Allah will protect you from everything else. And the ulama explained, you begin to guard your relationship with Allah when you start establishing your salah, when you start putting the sharia before your own whims, before your own fancies. You give precedence to the sharia, for that's Allah's way. We ask Allah to grant us all a good understanding. We are all tired of seeing women and babies bombed so severely that they have no heads left. You've seen the pictures yourself, where the hospitals are flooded with women and children in Gaza. They've run out of anesthesia and other essential medications. They are conducting amputations without any anesthetic at all. That's the situation of the ummah, because you and I, we can't get our facts right. So let this day be a day of deep reflection. Change your lives. We ask Allah to grant us His guidance. We ask Allah to grant us His maghfirah. We ask Allah to accept the ibadah that we did in this month. بارك الله لي ولكم في القرآن العظيم ونفعني وإياكم بالآيات والذكر الحكيم. أقول قولي هذا سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. جزاك الله خير.
Jazakallah. It was Imam Suhail. Can I request